And we are back. The videos are coming thick and fast right now. The Premier League continues straight onto in the midweek fixtures after a weekend where I wish I could be talking about how exciting and how entertaining the Liverpool-Man City game was yesterday, but I can't because we'd have to talk about how appalling the officiating was in near enough every single Premier League game this weekend, from the on-field officials to the people in the VAR room. It was an absolute total disaster. Bournemouth should have had a penalty against Fulham that wasn't given. Then Fulham's penalty against Bournemouth should not have been given. So that completely wrecked that result. You then look at everything that happened yesterday, from Southampton's goal not being allowed despite the referee clearly blocking off Jarrod Bowen as he's about to make a tackle on the player who scored the goal. Newcastle should have had a penalty against Manchester United. Manchester United should have had a penalty against Newcastle. Then you go to the Arsenal-Leeds game, and in my opinion, the goal that Patrick Bamford scored should have stood. For me, there was no foul on Gabriel in the lead up to that goal, and then I don't quite understand how Gabriel wasn't sent off. I understand that the second penalty was rightfully overturned. There was a clear foul on Gabriel, but he's quite clearly kicked out Patrick Bamford, so it's malicious intent. Therefore, it's a red card, yet somehow it's overturned to a yellow. Very reminiscent of an incident I remember very long while ago, where Vieira kicked out of Van Nistelrooy. No contact, but malicious intent's a red card. So absolutely appalling. And then just to cap it all off, when you get to the Liverpool-Man City game, and one of the few occasions where Liverpool have a lot of bodies committed forward and Man City have a genuine counter-attacking chance going on, Anthony Taylor stops the game to walk over and send off Jurgen Klopp. So well done, Jurgen. You prevented a counter-attack that could have led to a goal. And it officiating absolutely a mess in the Premier League this weekend, and in my opinion, drastically affected a fair few results that took place this weekend. So let's see what happened. Let's see how all of those decisions did affect our predictions series in terms of how many points we got, and then we'll look ahead to the midweek fixtures, because I think, again, it is going to be another week of good entertainment. So these were the games that were played over the course of the last few days. These were the results. Overall, it was a total score of 5. I'm not going to complain too much about the ones that I got wrong. I think the only real one I would have a slight complaint about is the Southampton-West Ham one, for the reason I said, in that Southampton's goal shouldn't have stood. Couple of results, I'm a little bit gutted. I didn't quite get the scoreline correct, so only the 1 point for those ones. So yeah, 5 overall brings the season score now up to 71. As always, please let me know down in the comments how you got on, and let's look ahead to the midweek fixtures in game week 12. Only 9 fixtures for you in the midweek, because Manchester City's game against Arsenal has been postponed due to Arsenal's Europa League tie against PSV. So just the 9 fixtures for you, starting with 2 games on Tuesday night. And we start with Brighton against Nottingham Forest. And Brighton haven't been fantastic since Graham Potter left. They've still looked dangerous, but they've not been scoring the goals. On the flip side, Nottingham Forest have just looked very, very poor over the last couple of months, really. They've just not done a lot in the Premier League since they've been promoted. It's still taking a while for their players to settle in, and that's what happens when you sign 21 players. I would expect Brighton to be winning at home to Nottingham Forest. I can't see there realistically being any other result, so I am going to go for a Brighton win. I'm going to go for 2-0 in that one there. The other game on Tuesday or tomorrow evening is Crystal Palace against Wolves. And I think this is a really, really tough one to call. Crystal Palace have been playing well without really doing a lot. Wolves have struggled but managed to get their win 2-0 the other day. I hate having to do this, but I look at this fixture and I really struggle to see where the goals are going to come from. Crystal Palace have been good defensively. Wolves have been reasonably good defensively. And I'm going to go for a 0-0. And I hate going for 0-0s because, obviously, if either team scores, the entire prediction is over. So it's a very, very cautious decision to go for it. But I just look at how these two teams have played over the last couple of weeks, and I'm struggling to see either team being good enough to break down the other. So, yeah, I'm going to go for 0-0. On to Wednesday, and this is where the majority of the games are being played in midweek. We start with Bournemouth up against Southampton. Arguably now, I would say, in-form Bournemouth taking on Southampton. And it's a big game. It's the two clubs down in the Southlands. And I think Bournemouth take this. I've been a bit disrespectful to Bournemouth this season. I still don't think they have a squad capable of staying in the Premier League, but they've made a very good start and they may have already accumulated a big enough gap to some of the teams below them to make sure that they stay up by the time we come round to the end of the season. And Southampton is another one of those teams that they will definitely be looking to take points away from. So I think they will get the job done. I think it will still be a tight game. I think Southampton played well against West Ham yesterday, even though their goal shouldn't have stood. I'm going to give Bournemouth the win. I'm just going to edge it to them, and I'm going to go for 2-1 to Bournemouth in that one. Next up, it is Brentford up against Chelsea. Brentford, who have been very, very good at home so far this season, coming up against a Chelsea side off the back of 5 consecutive wins under Graham Potter. They have been playing very well. They, again, seem to be improving game on game. So, on paper, I expect Chelsea to get the win in this one. However, I don't think Bournemouth will make it to Bournemouth. I don't think Brentford will make it too easy for them. I'm still going to give them the win. I'm going to go for 3-1 to Chelsea. But make no mistake, it would not surprise me at all to see Brentford get minimum a draw out of this one. So I wish them all the best because I need Chelsea to drop some points. Next up, it is the resurgent Liverpool taking on West Ham. West Ham have been very, very good recently. Were unlucky not to get the win yesterday against Southampton. And Liverpool, obviously, off the back of their 7-1 win against Rangers and their 1-0 win last night against Man City, are going to be full of confidence. It's going to be Anfield under the lights, as they love to say. And you've got to back Liverpool to win this one, surely. I think I've said enough times, Liverpool are a momentum-based team. And off the back of the last 2 results, their momentum feels as though it could be growing again. So if it is going to be stopped, I think it has to be now. And I think West Ham are a team more than capable of stopping that momentum. But I just think they're due a big win at home, Liverpool. And I'm going to back them to get it in this one. And I'm going to go for 3-0 to Liverpool in that one. We move on then to the draw specialists of Newcastle taking on Everton, the 2 best defensive sides in the league, I believe, statistically this season. Certainly going into this weekend, I don't know if the goals that Everton conceded against Spurs changed it, but Newcastle definitely still have the best defence overall. And I think Newcastle should be beating Everton. They played well yesterday against Manchester United. I know Everton have played very well and did well against United themselves last week. But I think Newcastle just have the edge over Everton, especially at home. And I'm just going to put it in Newcastle's favour and go for the 2-1 win for them there. Next up is what I would consider the main event, the marquee game of the midweek fixtures. It is Manchester United and Tottenham. And unfortunately, even as a Manchester United fan, if we're going on current form, I just don't think we've got a chance in this one. Tottenham obviously beat us 6-1 a couple of years ago. It was 3-2 last year with a Ronaldo hat-trick, but we've not even got that Ronaldo this season. I just think the way Spurs are playing, I just can't see it happening. We have stepped up in the big games this season. Massive win against Arsenal, massive win against Liverpool, both at home. And this is another opportunity to put in a big performance at home. But I look at what happened to us against Man City. I know that was away, and I just fear that, again, if the first goal goes in Tottenham's favour, I think we could be in absolutely massive trouble here. So I have to go with my head and not my heart, and I'm going to give Tottenham the win, but I'm only going to go for 2-1 to Spurs in that one. On to Thursday then, and we have 2 more games. We start with Fulham and Aston Villa. Aston Villa, who were fantastic against Chelsea yesterday and were very unlucky not to get at least a goal, even though it was a 2-0 defeat. Fulham, off the back of a poor performance against Bournemouth, are going to be looking for a response. They're probably going to target Villa as a team that they could get points off of. I can't really split them, so I am going to go for a 1-1 draw in that one. And the final game of the midweek fixtures sees Leicester taking on Leeds. Leeds were absolutely fantastic and fully deserved to beat Arsenal, in my opinion, yesterday, if it wasn't for obvious controversies and several missed chances towards the end of the game. Leicester, on the other hand, are still desperately looking to get a result. They have lost James Maddison due to suspension, but I don't know, I've just got a funny feeling on Leicester this week. I think they should still be beating Leeds. I think they still have the quality to beat Leeds on their day. So I'm going to go for 2-1 to Leicester. That might not be the smartest decision given the two teams' current form. But like I said, I've just got a feeling on Leicester for this one. And that is going to be it for today. As always, all of these fixtures will be available in the description, allowing you to copy and paste them down into the comment section so you can let me know what you think is going to happen. Also, let me know what you think about all of the decisions that have happened over the course of this weekend. It was an absolutely crazy weekend. So please let me know your thoughts. Drop a like if you are enjoying this series. Subscribe if you are new around here. And I will see you tomorrow for the next fantasy football video. Thank you very much for watching.